Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Tonight is 22, December 12th, 2022. Strong hand. Long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. We're one day closer to an all-time high. Freedom of association, baby. Be authentic. Be a unique beast. And you better believe it, baby. I am offended by selling. Hello, my elite friends. Tweet this baby out on Twitter. Spread the word. This is going to be a short one. I just randomly felt like doing this because I'm sure all these people are going crazy because SBF was just arrested in the Bahamas. And he's, everyone's going to get their revenge on him, blah, blah. There's nothing I can add to that. I mean, come on. I'm tired of this stupid story at this point, man. It's completely ridiculous. I wanted to give you a unique beast story that you haven't heard about yet because, I mean, most people are out there are stuck in the regular world. They're not in the Bitcoin overlay like we are. And, the mainstream media tells them what to think. And they're watching YouTube. They're algorithm slaves. Now, some people like me, we actually watch videos on other platforms. BitChute. Have you heard of it? A lot of you guys out here, a lot of you, for quite some time, were saying, get on BitChute, Adam. Get on BitChute. Get on BitChute. Oh, it'll help. You're getting blocked by YouTube. It's 2020. And, I got on BitChute. And hardly anyone watches me on BitChute. And even though so many of you are, get on BitChute. Okay. But with that in mind, hey, I did it. I was in motion. Stefan Molyneux, you can only watch him there. Computing Forever is great on BitChute. So, what's his name? Computing Forever. That's the name of his channel. The red hair guy from Ireland. Why am I bringing up BitChute right now? Well, after watching one of Computing Forever's videos today, and by the way, I'll update everyone. I'm in Baltimore right now, where I'm from. And we'll get personal at the end of the show here, but please ask questions. And I do want to thank, but before we move on to the BitChute news, and we'll talk a little bit about Blockfi also, I want to thank Frank Castaldini, Sebrock, and Henry Law. We only need $84 for the next One Bitcoin show. This is a bonus one I'm doing for free. It's going to be short. So I'm on Computing Forever's channel, and I see a message that says something about we need financial help. Go over to Give, Send, Go. And I'm like, who is this? What's going on here? So Give, Send, Go is one of those fundraising sites. I think it has a religious tilt to it that doesn't. The other one has been known to like confiscate people's money. This is centralized also, okay? The Canadian truckers tried to use this thing also. I don't know if they had problems with Give, Send, Go. This is the problem. BitChute, apparently, this major competitor of YouTube, and it's a big, I don't want to downplay it. They haven't been, they don't have a bank anymore. All the banks have cut them off. They've had banking problems for like over 2 years. You can read their explanation on the Give, Send, Go where they're begging for money now. And they haven't raised that much money. They cannot access any of their money from banks. And no bank wants to do business with BitChute. And to me, this is huge news in the sense that this is one of YouTube's major competitors can't get a bank account. And I know I'm joking about BitChute and no one watches it and everything. YouTube is the behemoth, it is the giant, etc. But for anyone to want to compete with YouTube, they're going to have to have financial resources. Okay, And I know there's the other one that's big right now is actually bigger than BitChute, and I haven't gotten on it yet because I don't spend too much time on my videos anymore. Although I do encourage all of you in the attention economy to have some real estate, whether it be on Twitter or YouTube or where I'm on Twitter every single day at TechBalk. Follow me, TECHBALT. What's Rumble is the big one now, but they'll be cut off also. My tremendous point in all of this is that BitChute has known of this issue for at least 2 years. They haven't gotten a Bitcoin address. They haven't got, even though they sound like Bitcoin, they have nothing to do with Bitcoin. All right. And I retweeted their begging today. I mean, I'm trying to help them a little bit. Don't the best thing you can do is tell them get a Bitcoin address, figure it out. Don't use a third party like Give Send Go. You look pretty desperate. They are pretty desperate, obviously, if they've gotten to this point. Now, I don't know why Cointelegraph, CoinDesk, and Decrypt haven't written about this yet. I think mostly because you have to integrate the problem into the bigger picture. BitChute in their begging doesn't mention Bitcoin at all. A few people in the retweeting are like, Bitcoin solves this. All these people are just like, oh, it's a conspiracy against BitChute. I don't care what it is. They should have known about this 2 years. I mean, they should have known about this 5 years ago, for God's sakes. Whenever BitChute started, they should have, instead of worrying about have a centralized bank account with these they're crying and screaming now, oh, Barclays or whoever. I don't even know who it is. I forgot. Some big British bank cut them off. Of course this is going to happen. The lesson here, if it happened to BitChute, it's going to happen to you. It's going to happen to all sorts of blacklisted companies. I don't care that Elon Musk is saving Twitter. He isn't saving everybody. There are going to be major companies that are going to be without banking. Debanking is real. And debanking, people are like, well, why do I need Bitcoin? Debanking. That's one big thing right there. You will be debanked. People will be debanked. BitChute is being debanked. That is an answer right there. People say that Bitcoin doesn't exist. It's a Ponzi. It's this, it's that. Well, I mean, what's the solution for BitChute? Tell me, what is the solution to beg on Give, Send, Go, or to have a Bitcoin account? What do you think makes more? I mean, come on now. That is a use case right there. So that is huge news for me. That is huge Bitcoin news. It is bigger than this SBF nonsense. This whatever his company's called that I don't know, a darn person who had money at, that all these other people lost money. And I'm not into class warfare, by the way. So I'm not going to say, well, they're only getting attention because a bunch of rich people lost money. You know what? If a bunch of rich people lost money, he should be prosecuted. He broke the law, whatever. I'm not vilifying rich people, but they were stupid rich people to get, Tom Brady and all those people that lost a lot of money on this situation. And all these big corporations throwing money at him because he's the latest thing. Now, they're idiots there's some people that are idiots that, oh, he's so trendy. He's into this green stuff. He's into giving all his money away. Let's give him more money. They didn't look into the financials behind the guy. Okay, they didn't do their due diligence. You get punished. That's it. He'll get his. He's been arrested. Great. All right, good. Goodbye, Sam. Goodbye, FTX. I mean, again, I still don't know. And everyone's still saying also, well, now all the normies are going to learn you can't keep your money at a centralized place. Sure they are. They're not going to learn it until they get debanked, okay? I mean, until it happens to some of these normies, these 80%ers, we are the elite here. We are proactive. We've seen this happen. We don't want this. I don't want this to happen to me. I don't trust any bank with a substantial amount of money at all. Okay, I value my wealth in Bitcoin. This is the very definition of valuing your wealth in Bitcoin. All right. And I want to thank my buddy Matt Moore out in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I drove from Yuma, Arizona to get back here to Baltimore with my family so I could my father's yurt site was a week ago. It was Monday night and Tuesday, and I did everything I needed to do. I went to the graveyards, his grave, of course, and his relatives' graves. It was a very cold, rainy day. Perfect for the cemetery. But on my drive here, the great Matt Moore in Tulsa, Oklahoma gave me the best freaking Tulsa hospitality a man can give another man, in a heterosexual manner, of course. He put me up at he put me up at the Holiday Inn downtown. Great. Tulsa looked beautiful. Oklahoma's a great state. Matt's a great guy. Follow him on Twitter. He has got a radio show. He is in motion with his Bitcoin radio show. He is linked to below. And the Give Send Go that I've just been yelling about is also linked to below. And please, again, $84 until we have another show. No one has done a super chat so far tonight. I do see, and no one has colored my name. Someone says your wisdom shines through the Bitcoin ages. Thank you. Thank you. Andy is another guy. I believe I know Andy, who's very, if you're the guy from PDX that I think you are very generous with me also. You're very nice to me in Portland in 2018. If I think it's, there was a guy, I believe his name was Andy, who was very nice to me in Portland in 2018 when I stayed there. I believe it was 2018. Before they really, yes, it was 2018. Before some crazy stuff really happened there, I did notice the homeless problem was insane, even when I was there back then. Barefoot Barry says, greeting from New Zealand. He is actually one of the few guys who watches me on BitChute. So New Zealand's a beautiful place, baby. I want to return one day. Haven't been there since 2017. You're one of the worst prime ministers in the history of womankind. Pound that like button, everyone. All right, so let's move on to talk about Pomp real quick. I wasn't planning on time. Blockfi, whatever. They filed for. They're in trouble financially. We were worried about them because they were. People want yield. And their yield was insane. It's not Pomp's fault that they went under. Okay, a lot of people are blaming Pomp. Why were you pumping this? There is a question of what did Pomp know, and when did he know it? I will say this. He clearly was propping them up. He's one of their VCs. So you can say, I mean, he lost a lot of money on this. He had to have lost a lot of money on this. So he's not going away unscathed. But I do wonder, what did he know and when did he know it? He wasn't saying, 7% interest is unsustainable when a lot of people were. So, I don't want to start drama or anything like that. But that is one good question to come out of the BlockFi situation. Well, first of all, the lesson is don't trust a third party. Don't try to get yield. That VCs can prop something up for quite some time. And if he knew there were problems and people were confronting him about the problems and he denied the problems, that's a problem. But he probably did lose a lot of money. And I want to warn everyone, the Fed meeting is, I think, tomorrow and Wednesday. Tomorrow is Tuesday the 13th and Wednesday's the 14th. So just be ready, for some turbulence. All right. Oh, also, when I was driving, there are many interesting scenes when I was driving back through America to get back to Baltimore. And I saw a city I'd never been in before, a little town, West Virginia, Clarksburg, West Virginia. Looked like there's a lot of potential there. That's all I got to say. I think, West Virginia, if you want to, don't be a tree. You can live in a cheap place. I think that's why I visited a year ago. What's the town I was in a year ago in West Virginia? This is what happens. I usually try to go to sleep. It's best to go to sleep at 10 o'clock, by the way, people. That's the best for your circadian rhythm. And I will be in a few minutes. That's your health tip of the day. I might have a few other health tips in a second too. Actually, yeah, I do have some other health news. But yeah, I'd like to check out these supposedly downtrodden West Virginia areas because they're pretty safe. And if you live in the metaverse like I do, then you can physically, go from one place to one place and experiment and, see. What's the second most populated city in West Virginia? That's where I was last year. And it's a disgrace. I can't even think of a darn name right now. Oh, I keep on thinking Charleston, which is the capital and the biggest one. It's where Marshall's located. What's the name of the city where Marshall's located? Now I'm gonna have to look it up. Marshall located in WV. Yeah, where is it? Oh God, jeez, where's Huntington? How could I forget Huntington's freaking name? So I enjoyed my time in Huntington last year. I mean, there were a few, there's a little bit of a meth issue or whatever, but again, I think West Virginia, maybe it'll be the next. Everybody's all the trendies are moving to Boise and stuff. I won't say West Virginia's got some potential to it, and this Clarksburg was a very small town, small city, but it had some interesting industrial buildings that you could turn into like live workspaces if you're some hipster 25-year-old. I don't know what you want to do. Looked like there was cheap real estate there. Clarksburg, West Virginia, had never really heard of it before. Drove through it. It was on a pretty big road. Yeah, I listened to a lot of audiobooks on the way. The Andromeda Strain, very, very, very good. Not the movie, the book, The Andromeda Strain, and Ringworld by Larry Nevin. I listened to that entire thing. Some sci-fi there. So Ringworld, it's kind of old school sci-fi, and I'm not going to exactly recommend it for everyone. Andromeda Strain was pretty good, and I could see how they could make it into a movie. I've never seen the movie. It's good. Andromeda Strain is good. All right, let's get back to let's talk about Palladium. Have you ever heard of Palladium magazine? I hadn't beforehand, and I linked to a podcast of theirs. They are out of San Francisco. You would think they'd be leftist or something, and they really are trying to be neutral. I got to tweet this out. They call it governance futurism, okay? And this one podcast, they've eco-modernism people on from the Netherlands and one from Finland. And one of them is affiliated with the Green Party, I believe, in Finland. I think that's the lady there. And these people are into progress. They care about the environment. They really do. But they care about they want there to be 10 billion people on this planet that are doing better in terms of abundance. And they don't want people to go live in tents. If people want to go live in tents and wipe their tuchluses with leaves, they're welcome to do that. But the major points of the green movements now and the panic that has infected young people all over this world is that the world is ending. We have to slow down progress. These people were into progress, and this is not the first Palladium magazine related. I think I saw a video of theirs or something like that. I don't want to give them the full Meister recommendation, but they definitely are opening my mind. This podcast was good. It was, again, they care about you. I love people who care about the environment, who will let me be me, and who will let developing countries develop with fossil fuels or whatever and go their way. But there are some ecological things that people can do that will bring on progress, that will help people. You don't have to tell people, stop people from having babies. If people want to stop having babies, they can have babies. There's never too many people on this planet. These were good environmentalists. So it is linked to below. Palladium magazine, you seem like you're doing a lot of good things, whoever you may be. Actually, the two guys behind it, they try to seem pretty moderate about it. And this is we're in a very polarized world where people try to be leftist or rightist. These guys are willing to talk to a lot of different people. And I believe the first time I heard about Palladium magazine was a progressive conservative guy. I didn't agree with what he was saying, what this conservative was saying. You can't really be a progressive conservative. Progressivism leads to a philosopher king determining what he thinks is progress, and that usually it leads to some power grab by some centralized authority. So it's progressing toward someone's goal that is not necessarily yours. It's not really conserving any traditions of the past. So this progressive conservatism guy they had on, I believe it's that I didn't agree with him, but whatever. Palladium magazine, doing good stuff, sounded a lot like Alex Epstein. Alex Epstein is bringing the fossil fuel truth to the world, the environmentalist truth to the world, that global warming it's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay. There are going to be there are benefits to global warming. We've always tried to have a warmer environment. The people up there will all of a sudden, are you against Eskimos? This is a way to frame it. I thought of this on my own. I've been meaning on bringing this up for a while. Are you against native Eskimos? Because they're going to be able to have thriving cities up there with making lots of money at new ports that are just opening up with all these new waterways opening up. If the ice goes away, there's going to be all sorts of farming opportunities. Are you against Eskimos? I mean, come on. There's Alex Epstein, though, was just recently on Jordan Peterson. I've been following Alex Epstein for quite some time. Yaron Brook, who, with all his faults, is a huge Alex Epstein fan. And that's one of the great things Yaron does is tell people, pay attention to Alex Epstein. Alex Epstein is probably the best voice on global warming living today. Schellenberger is pretty good. And that guy Jan or whatever, who's I think been on Rogan, he's from Europe also. I mean, that's not all Alex Epstein needs to be is on Rogan now. He is. I hope he gets on there. But he did a great job on Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson has been having on some excellent guests. Jordan Peterson is clearly on my side of and Alex's side of, and these guests on Palladium's side of the argument that let's have progress. What progress and innovation requires energy. It doesn't require nuclear. I forgot this very important point. These people on the Palladium podcast that I just listened to, huge nuclear energy fans. Huge. Again, this is a woman in some Green Party in Finland. All right. Huge nuclear power fans, because it does help the environment. In the long run, people will be able to get off of fossil fuels and all if we go nuclear power and create all these innovations and stuff. So it is, these people are such reactionaries. They bought into this company line. And the guy hosting the Palladium magazine did a really great job of asking questions about why do people fall for this mainstream media paradigm? Why is it such a huge narrative that is being taught in all the schools that the world is ending and nuclear power is not the answer? That the only answer is turning back progress. I mean, this was a good host, a good host on Palladium. So I've rambled on about that for some time here. Let me see if anyone else, that was your Beyond Bitcoin moment. I want to see if anyone's got any questions. 123 No Scope. What's up? Hope you've been well, dude. Yeah, I explained. I've been great, man. And I've been trying to eat a little earlier in the day. That's a health recommendation. Again, I'm still doing my intermittent fasting at least 20 hours a day. When I drove across the country, I didn't eat for 113 hours straight, 112 and a half hours. Sorry. So that was my you try to have at least one 72-hour fast every half year. I do that, and maybe try to have a 5-day, that was 5-day or whatever, once a year. And so, yeah, it's called, there have been some studies that if you, and I did not used to, I've changed, I am willing to alter my ways. I was not a vegan beforehand. I'm a vegan now because I do believe it is the healthiest, and that meat, animal, it creates what, TMAO or something. It can create some issues. And for me personally, I do like the vegan lifestyle. It's been good to me. But early time restricted feeding, it's called. So you want to get your eating done before 5 p.m. I did not used to do that. And it's even better to get it done before 3 p.m. And I think starting at 10 a.m. is a good time. I haven't been able to get it. I mean, only a few times recently have I been able to get it below 11 a.m. But or even in the 11s. But I'm trying to shoot for noon, before noon every day. And my window, again, when I was too hardcore about things was like less than an hour. That was insane. I try to. I haven't been able to get 4 hour window lately of eating, but 3 hours, 2.5 hours is what I've been doing. And Nomad Giant, how you doing? Tallest man in the Bitcoin world. This is a man who is 7'3", I believe. I'm sorry if you're 7'4". I forgot. I sometimes get confused, but he's one of the biggest human beings on the planet Earth, to tell you the truth. So, Nomad Giant, how you doing? I'm glad you're in Mexico. You weren't in Mexico last time. I thought you were in another. I thought you were in a Central American country. But you're a great guy, very smart guy. He's been on the show in the past, long ago past. I hope to meet him one day. All right. What about grass-fed and finished red meat? No, dude, just no meat. There's different types of there are different types of meat. Yes, organ meats are full of vitamins. Yeah, they are. All those things are good. And maybe when you're younger, if you want to build muscle or whatever, it'll build muscle and stuff. But for longevity, if you get hooked on these paleo things, and not paleo, excuse me, keto, fat stuff, meat, hardcore meat, long term, I'm not feeling it, dude. And the Australian guy says, there's plenty of guys who say, well, David Sinclair says it. Plenty of people say it. And if you sit down and think logically about it, and somebody, if you read a lot about what this TMAO and just there can be some bad reactions. And again, I've had some weird test numbers, dude, and I'm pretty darn healthy. And God forbid, I say I'm pretty darn healthy. I wasn't as healthy as I thought it was because I was eating all that. I was eating all that meat and stuff. Bitcoin only, says CS2, and he gives $5. So I mean, you can think what you want to think, but you can see how serious I am. That I used to say on this very channel that you have a little bit of have everything. Everything's meat's good, animal's good, chicken's good, fat's good, this good, animal fats. There is a big difference between animal fat and plant-based fat. There was. Eating too much meat can hurt the health. Yes, Andy, it can. I'm saying it can. I'm saying I believe it can. I believe so strongly that it can. I became a vegan. Just like that. I became a vegan just at this, and I can do stuff like that. I've got some, I'm not saying it's easy for people. I've got some pretty incredible willpower and determination and conviction, as most of you know. But enough of, this food we can, I don't want to make this, vegan versus, vegan versus meat eater type of show here. We're getting close to the end, but there are other things I want to say here. Okay, so we talked about Alex Epstein, Jordan Peterson. We thanked Matt. We talked about Clarksburg. And we talked about GiveGo. The GiveGo problem. The Fed meeting. Oh, just being contrarian. Let me get some more people angry out there. And I don't care if I get people angry. Because I am a unique beast. If you're in the Bitcoin overlay, if you believe in freedom of association, other people can do things and again, if you want to be, by the way, if you want to promote meat eating and all that stuff, be my guest. If you want to eat meat, I'm not stopping you from doing it. I don't think there's some people that want to, stop the killing of cows. Everyone eats synthetic meat. Countries should make cows illegal. No, I'm not saying that at all. But I will say this. I believe in innovation. If I still ate animals, they're coming out with not fake salmon, but salmon they grow from salmon they grow from cells. I would eat that. I would eat that. Yes, if I still ate animals, which I don't, but I have no problem because there's a lot of people like, oh, the food is all going to be fake. There's a difference between like fake chicken, which is like made of all these horrible oils and soy and stuff, and they make it look like chicken and look like burgers, than growing the actual food from animal cells, where you grow the freaking organs, where you grow the freaking flesh. And God bless them. I hope they come up with a lot of the companies that are doing it. Let them experiment, and it could feed a lot of people. That leads to the abundance of this world. I don't believe in regulating that stuff at all either. That's what's holding that stuff back now. And of course, all the traditional companies want the regulation on these innovative companies that want to grow their own animals from without killing animals. And I think there is something. First of all, I just want to say that the human is so much above an animal. I don't like the people that are, try to give this argument. Yuval Harari tries to make it like a cow is equal to a human. No, that is not true. But if you could stop killing animals, I don't think that's a bad thing. Killing animals for now is fine. I have no problem with hunting a deer and hunting a whatever. Hunt this, hunt whatever. But if that could be eliminated, that's nice. That's good to have that option. But I do want to stress beyond I don't want anyone questioning me on this. The human being is the superior species. The human, if it comes down to a dog or a human, you pick a human, of course. And you cannot worship animals. You go down a very slippery slope when you start to, because then it's all right to exterminate humans and stuff. I mean, and that's another thing from this podcast today, that there are people that think human beings are the cancer of the earth. We are the only thing that can save the earth from an asteroid strike. We are the only beings that can change the fate, that can change our environment in a significant way, who can get off of this planet. And that's another thing about innovation. Another thing, if we let progress to happen, we will get off this planet, and this planet could become a nature reserve. It could become a lot of different things, and we could have incredible heavy industry in space, and there'd be no heavy industry on Earth, and the air would be cleaner. So let progress take its place. Don't try to regulate progress away. Don't try to regulate innovation, you Elizabeth Warrens of the world. All right. Get out of our way. Freedom of association, baby. Freedom. Regulation. All regulation is guilty until proven innocent. All right. You've done nothing wrong, but they say you're guilty, so you can't do it. Okay, so contrarian thing about Zuckerberg and the Metaverse. And I see recently someone, what's his name? I forgot. They just had an article on this on CoinDesk today. I haven't read the article yet. The Balaji, he's an Indian American out in California. He's a really smart guy. He thinks that governance and the metaverse go together, and I actually agree. I'll talk about this in another show one day, but I do think if people start to associate with one another in different forms and fashion in the metaverse, in a virtual space, that it will take away the power of centralized federal governments. And we all have different associations we associate with in life. And right now, it seems like most people's most important association is the federal government. Whatever the federal government says, that's the most important thing to them. That's it. That's what they're going to do. And that's not necessarily the way you have to structure your life. And the metaverse, the internet, the Web 3.0, whatever you want to call it, is this space where you can do anything. You can experiment with any form of governance. You can associate with anyone. You can say, me and this dude in Finland and this dude in Africa, we're forming our own association, and we're going to run things the way we run things. And we're going to use Bitcoin as our native currency. And there's just all sorts of cool things that if you get, there's a lot of people that have a bias. They hear metaverse and they think Ethereum, they think all this stuff. Okay. I live in the metaverse already. I don't have a home. I go from place to place. It's a state of mind. And I think younger people get it a little bit more. And I'm not the youngest guy. I'm not some 20 something. So people are just ripping on Zuckerberg. Supposedly people at the company are saying that he's got a metaverse obsession. It's going to bring down Meta. It's going to bring down Facebook. I'm remaining the contrarian on this dude. I think he is on the right path. I think if he sticks with it, He doesn't give in the peer pressure. They'll make a good product, and this Metaverse thing is going to be huge for them. Going to be huge, and I think just people are just blindly attacking the Metaverse concept without really thinking about it. They're like, oh, scam NFTs. Of course, yeah, there's scam NFTs in the Metaverse. There's some interesting things people are doing with NFTs and all that stuff also on various platforms. Again, Bitcoin, the cool thing about the Metaverse, it's going to need, there's going to be a virtual currency there. What is the best virtual currency? Decentralized it's Bitcoin. So for all you Bitcoin people who hate the Metaverse, think a little bit outside the box here. Try to expand your mind. Don't be a I don't like people who destroy. See how Bitcoin can benefit in this Metaverse that is. So yeah, I wanted to leave with that contrarian. That I believe in Mark Zuckerberg. I don't try to make him into the devil. I think he's on the right path. And God, Henry Law, the great one, he sends 10. You are so generous, dude. He sends 10 Hong Kong dollars. Free Hong Kong, baby. That's what I got to say. But he says Elizabeth Karen. Are you talking about Elizabeth Warren? Yeah, that she is Elizabeth Karen. She could become the next president of the United States, though, which is would be the worst possible option out there. All right, and last comment is from Marco Esquandoles. Hello, Adam. Well, you say hello, and I say goodbye, as a British band somewhere once said. I'm Adam Meister. If anyone wants to ask another question, you have 30 seconds to send a super chat. Thank you, CS2 and Henry, for supporting the show today. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about the World Cup. Who do I want to win the World Cup? I don't really care that much. I wanted England to beforehand when there were only 8 teams left, because we have all these British fans on here who are all asleep now. Speaking of which, watch UK Bitcoin Master. Someone says, is Meta a buy? No, it is not a buy. Only buy Bitcoin. Buy the underlying. Don't buy these stocks. Buy the underlying of everything. Because in the long run, Meta does. I believe Meta should be able to print their own money if they want to. Elizabeth Warren doesn't. That's how she tries to vilify them. But no, the Bitcoin. Only buy Bitcoin. I only buy Bitcoin. Only use my fiat to buy Bitcoin. I don't buy stocks. This is insane. Only and again, that's why were people buying? They're buying investing in all these Bitcoin companies, Bitcoin side companies that sort of use Bitcoin. No, buy the underlying asset. That's what you believe in. All right, pound that like button, everybody. I'll just say, I can't say Shabbat Shalom. It's going to be Hanukkah soon, so everybody have a happy Hanukkah. If I don't see you before then, and oh yeah, who do I like in the World Cup? Well, who's left? France, Croatia, Morocco. Who's the other one that's left? Oh, Argentina. I like Argentina. I like being in Argentina. I'm going to say Argentina, and then if Argentina doesn't win, then I guess Croatia would be interesting because they've never won. But really, so yeah, I want Argentina. I'm a huge I love my people in Uruguay, my relatives in Uruguay, and so I wanted Uruguay and America to do well, but they didn't do well, and so yeah, then England, but so Argentina. Okay, pound that like button. See you guys later. Retweet this. Thanks a lot, everybody. Random one for you. You never know what you're going to get from me.